we picked our quinces, or all the quinces that were left. Today we thought we'd do a little bit of video about how we prepare our quinces to save over winter. So stage 1, they get a wash and all the furriness gets wiped away. Next stage, they need peeling.
They're quite tough.
They're not the easiest thing in the world to prepare, are they?
No, they're not easy to keep a hold of either. There are little brown bits sometimes on the flesh.
Yeah, sometimes though they're very sort of
like
superficial.
There,
yeah,
that's
bitter pip, isn't
bitter pip, which is usually caused when the conditions are too dry, which they have been this year.
But very often it's not very deep.
If you look, I can sort of shave that off. Sometimes if it's really bad it goes right through, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So we'll get on now and get this lot washed and peeled. Yeah, we'll come back when we get around to the next stage.
Once the quinces have been peeled, the next stage is to sort of slice the flesh off, which is quite a tough thing to have to do. They're not like apples.
You can't call them, can you?
No, they don't have a central core as such, but they have a very hard central sort of piece. And you just have to slice the flesh off from round the hard bit, don't you?
Yep.
One of the other things that happens is they're a bit like apples in that as they're exposed to the air, they change colour, don't they?
They discolour very quickly, don't they?
Yeah, they do. We were saying we're not too sure where the seeds are. They must be right in the middle of the hard central piece.
That's what happens if you get too near the middle, you just can't do anything.
It's really solid in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah. Fortunately, we have so many, we don't have to worry about getting the last little bits off, do we?
Maybe you should try cutting the centre bit to see if we can see a seed.
What am I going to cut it with?
Hacksaw.
This is what happens. You cannot get into the middle. Weird. Not what I expected to see at all, that.
No. So shall we leave it at that and come back later when we get onto the next stage?
Yeah. Once we've got a bowl full of chopped quince, we keep a careful check on the weight so we know how much sugar to add once it's all weighed up. So 1.189, and then when that's full it heads over and goes into the cauldron.
We do try to use as little sugar as possible.
We do, yeah, so we tend to add about a third of the weight of sugar to fruit, as opposed to jam making where it's more like equal weights of jam and sugar. The problem is it does need to be kept in the freezer because it'll only last a few days once it's stored back out with that amount of sugar.
The quince has been prepared now, sliced and put into our cauldron. There's 2.2 kilograms of quince flesh in there.
I'm going to put 750 grams of sugar in.
Right, and if we look just before Martin puts the sugar in, that's what we have left, almost a bucket full of debris. Strange how we've got a cauldron full of flesh and a bucket full of debris, and we only started with a bucket full of quince. So now we're weighing up the sugar, which is how much did you say?
750.
750 grams of sugar. As I said before, we try to use as little sugar as possible.
The first 400. It looks a frightening amount of sugar to me.
But the fruit is very tart. We did try to use less, didn't we?
Yeah, it was horrible, really.
Yeah. There's a lot of sugar when you look at it, but you don't have much of the fruit in any one go, do you? We tend to use it on top of porridge, don't we?
Yeah.
Or we have mixed it with apple and made a pie.
Crumble's nice, isn't
Yeah, or a crumble. So now it's just a case of getting it cooking.
And washing up.
Yeah, and washing up and getting rid of all the rubbish. That's only one bucket full of quince. We've got another 2 to do yet. So, you know what they say about a watched pot never cooking, or is it a watched kettle never boils? I suppose it's the same principle. So we'll leave it there for now.
Our quince has had about an hour now on a low light, simmering away, and it's now nicely softened. Noticeably gets some of its colour back when it's cooked, from that dark orange to a much lighter orange. So all we have to do now is leave it to cool for a few hours before we put it into some tubs that can be stored in the freezer.
The final stage in our processing of our quince crop is to put it into containers to put in the freezer. The quince compote, as we call it, has been left to cool. You get quite a lovely smell from it, a very perfumed smell whilst it's cooking. And now we've got that sort of nice orangey colour. So now that's going to be spooned into individual containers. The only real way to keep this now is to put it in the freezer. It won't keep any other way. It'll soon go mouldy. It's very difficult to describe the taste of quince.
Lovely.
It is. It is actually either one of those flavours that you either like or don't like, isn't it? It's because it's very distinctive. We like it, which is fortunate. The idea is to not put too much sugar in, or all you get is a sweet sugary taste, which doesn't do the fruit any justice. So this is just one of our buckets of quince. How many containers do you reckon this one will do?
There's 3 with a bit left, I think.
3 containers, right. So we should get about 9, shouldn't we, from the 3 buckets?
Yeah, I don't think the other buckets are quite as full.
We've already got some in the freezer, haven't we?
3.
3 in the freezer.
Yeah. That's it.
So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.